Okay, some things that people, I see beginning bloggers will sometimes, if they want to send somebody to a web link, they might say, let's type I go to Seton Hill University, and then they'll do and here's how I'll show you how to make a hyperlink. Select your text, you click on the link button, and then you type URL, click OK. I'm not sure why that happens. I would say that I've been noticing that happens about half the time. I'm going to click undo on my keyboard, and let's see if I can get this to happen again. Let me see if I can get this to happen the right way. Okay, I don't know what that problem was. Okay, well, now we have a hyperlink. Now, two things that I noticed. One is that W is not part of a hyperlink. This is just a word processor file, so I can edit this pretty simply. This text right here, I could call this, call it my school. That text is actually different. If I click back here on the link, you can see, oh, it's still that hyperlink. So you're doing two different things here. This text does not have to be the URL. It can be some descriptive words. So how about this? I can just delete all this stuff. Highlight that. I get my link again. Okay, now there's a little bit of something for your reader to discover here on this page. Now, of course, this page has nothing to do with Emily Dickinson being a sick cookie, but still, when we have a link that kind of teases and plays a little bit with your reader's mind, there's a little bit more to do on this page than if it's simply a dry list of facts. One other thing you might like to know is how to upload a picture. People often ask that. So I just click the Insert Image button. I click on Upload New Image. I'm going to choose a file. Let's see if I can find a photo. What photo should I upload? Too many photos. Let's see. Don't want to get quite too picky here, but okay, here's a photo I can upload. I've chosen the file. Now I click on Upload. You can just leave these things as they are. And now I've got some options here. I can I happen to know this picture is fairly big, so I'm going to click on Use a Thumbnail. And I'm going to click on Link Image to Full-Size Version in a pop-up window. That thumbnail I think is going to be too big, so I'm going to change that to 400. It's a good size for a thumbnail. And there are other alignment options. You can add a description and tags if you wish. Click on Finish. This page is uploading, and so now I have just uploaded a picture. So this was an image that's taken from a screenshot from my iPad. So, and if I want to, I can add. I'm just going to add a new category. This would be images. There we go. So this is. I click images, and it's, I don't know, is it personal or is it work? This is work. The categories are completely optional for you. If I am not yet ready to publish, but I'm nervous and I don't want the computer to crash on me, I can click Save Draft. I really ought to do that every so often. So I haven't done a whole lot of formatting on this, but you can see with all the options that are available, I'm making a lot of choices, and this may take a bit more time than just dashing out a Facebook status update. So there's a chance for you to think and reflect a little bit. and share the fruits of that reflection to the world. Now I've saved the draft. I can, if I wish, preview. That's always something good to do. And I can check and make sure that, yes, when I click on that, the zoomed in image of the picture comes in. That's wonderful. That works nicely. I can check to make sure that Hogwarts in Pennsylvania comes through. Great. So I'm happy with that. I return to the compose screen. I have not yet published it yet. If I want to publish it, I have to click on publish. Takes a little while. Now it's been published. So I can click here on View Entry to go to this particular entry, or I can click here and I'll see the Elizabeth Seton homepage. So here's this entry that I just created. I'll show you what happens. Your visitors to your blog will see something like this, and they can, here I could say I am. The computer does not actually check to see who I am, so I don't know if that's a real address, but and now on these blogs you may find this Captcha. It's a little thing that you have, a little puzzle you have to solve to convince the computer you are a human being and not a bot. So we do that because if we did not have this kind of security on the blog website, we get literally junk messages multiple times a second. So I'm going to submit that. And here's what your viewers will see. Or your readers will see your comment's been received and held for approval by the blog owner. Now, that will dump that comment here on your site. Let's go back to the home view, and now I click on comments, and that's my old comment. I've noticed that new comments take a little while before they show up here on this screen. But when I click on View All Comments, let's see if it shows up here. Yeah, View All Comments, that'll do it. So from this page, this comment is not yet visible. It's not yet published. I publish it that way. So generally, if you want to make sure that those comments appear on your blog, if your visitors have to type in that Captcha code, you'll have to publish the comments yourself. I'll do that periodically. I will try to publish comments when I see them too, anytime they're obviously university related stuff. Okay, so we've gone through the basics for how to log into your blog, how to create an entry. What if you want to edit your entries? Well, you can go over here to Edit and Manage, and from this screen I can delete something if I want to. I can click on this and I can I get this page back again. I can change it, I can move it around, I can update it. Okay, so if now you want somebody to read what you wrote, but click here where it says Permalink, where you can just click on the title. Either one takes you to the same place. That's the permanent link. This link will never change. And to make sure you're on the right page, you think, aha, yes, it says leave a comment, so you know you're on the right page. That is the URL of your entry. This is the URL of your blog. And a last reminder, this URL is only for editing purposes. Don't give that URL to anybody else. It can't hurt your blog, but if somebody were to click on a link that had that URL, they would need to log in with your user ID and password in order to see anything at all. So this URL is of no use to anybody. Okay, so just quick reminders. When you write on your blog, try to come up with an interesting title. When you write, if you have the opportunity to include a link, go ahead and include a link to something interesting. Try to make your text either informative or somehow entertaining. This Hogwarts in Pennsylvania is a joke. If this were a factual website and my goal were to give across facts, I probably wouldn't want to play with the reader a little bit. Okay, and if you don't like something that you've posted, you can click on delete, confirm, get rid of it, and that the blog is safe, but that particular entry is gone. Now, anytime you see something that looks funny, you say, oh, I just deleted that entry from the database, from the dashboard, but it's still on my blog. Well, I just reloaded it and it disappeared. So anytime you have something going funny on your blog, if it doesn't look the way you expect it, just click here on this Publish Site button, click Publish. It'll republish everything on your site, and that'll fix, 95% of the problems on your blog. But that ought to get you started in general for how to blog. Okay, happy blogging.